Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for clicking a new video of mine. It means a lot that you guys keep clicking. If you guys keep clicking, I'll keep making. And today, apparently, we've all been enjoying Survivor 44. We've all been liking, at least to some extent. I mean, some more than others, but we've all been really liking this season. But apparently, we're all misogynists for liking it because this season, all along, has secretly been misogynistic. Yes, the Twitter heads are back at it, calling this season sexist, and on top of that, also racist for its boot order and the fact that out of all of the vote outs, it's only been women who have gone so far. So in today's video, we're gonna look at a few tweets from these crazy people and obviously refute them and put some common sense on them. Now, of course, if you haven't already, like, share, subscribe, do all that good stuff because it's free, it's easy, and it really does help the channel out. Okay, so this first tweet says Survivor 44 is so racist and sexist. I can't believe 4 also epic POCs went out back to back. I will no longer be watching this season. A few things to point out about this one. Obviously, first, just the content of it. I mean, we all see that this is ridiculous. I mean, the idea that Survivor 44, the season, can be racist. I mean, I'm assuming that they're talking about the production, but then again, production doesn't control the boot order. Is it the season itself? I mean, a season isn't a person. How can it be racist? That makes no sense. Are they calling the players in the game racist? Because if you've seen their Twitters, they're all very, very liberal. Trust me, I've checked. So I don't know what they're talking about specifically when they say Survivor 44 is racist. And then, of course, the exact same thing with sexist, because there's really only 2 points that they make a lot, which is that one, that the women not being here isn't fair because they don't have the representation. But in reality, the women are only down 1 woman to make it even. It's 5 to 7 right now. So if there's 1 woman and 1 less man, it would be completely even. And then as far as like the actual vote outs, because in the end, all people who have been voted out this season have been women, with Bruce and Matt getting evacuated here. It really all comes down to the intention of the players. The players themselves have not thought, I guarantee you, 1 time about the gender of the person they're voting out. I guarantee you, not 1 man or woman for that matter, because remember, there's also women voting out. Women here have thought about the gender of, the person who's getting blindsided. It's more of their gameplay, the person that they are, their strength. And of course, strength is a questionable one because obviously women are weaker, and in the pre-merge, that's a big liability. But I do think it's evened out because at the merge, the men's strength is kind of used against them. So I feel like the physical can't really be shown as some sort of inequality, and so that really does leave just the mental strategy, which is shown to be completely equal, not as far as like results, but as far as opportunity, right? There's no barriers in the game to women as far as a systematic barrier. And then as far as people claiming that women can't do the same thing that a man can do, you're limiting yourself. I mean, I see this all the time. People like Sophie and Sarah actually saying on the show that if a man does good strategy, he's seen as a boss, but if a woman does it, she's seen as a bitch. And it's like, it's always just them saying it anecdotally. It's never an actual example that's given, because at the end of the day, if a man comes off too strong, he's seen as an asshole, in the same way that a woman would be seen like a bitch in that case. So I guess that their point kind of contorts 2 different situations and mashes them together and tries to make this an inequality, when in reality, it's very much equal in that case. In fact, it may even lean more towards the women's favor here, because men, especially at the merge, who even have a sliver of strategy, get taken out all of the time. At the end of the day, I mean, this tweet makes no sense on so many different levels, but most importantly, it undermines its own point. The next one says, the women keep getting voted out because the challenges cater to the strength of men. If they had more challenges with small spaces, etc., only a woman could get through, watch how valuable it becomes to have a small woman on a team. This is one of the dumbest things I might have ever read, and I feel as if I've lost brain cells taking the time to read it. I guess the perfect place to start here is the word strength is not a gendered term. I mean, they say the strength of men. No, it's just the strength. These are not bathrooms. This is an objective word that has a dictionary definition, and to try and gender the word strength is stupid. Their second point about making challenges with small spaces so that it values women is almost as dumb as saying that we need to make challenges that have heavy objects to value men. When you try and gender a challenge, you get to a point that's even dumber than when you try and gender the word strength. they have somehow outdumbed themselves. And you know what? I actually credit them because it takes this much effort to have this much ignorance. This next one says, "Hey Jeff Probst and Survivor, I really hope you have plans to overhaul the game setup because it's really getting not fun to watch women go out back to back to back to back." I guess there's really only one point to this tweet, and it's the idea that when women go out simultaneously or back to back to back, that there's some sort of overhaul that needs to happen in the game. The game needs to be flipped on its head. And I think this really does speak to one of the hallmark, I guess, kind of morals and traits of these Twitter people. It's the entitlement. It's not that I need to change to conform to your system or adapt to the situation. No. Everyone else must change for me because I feel uncomfortable or wronged or angry or sad about something. Now everybody else must change to make me feel better. It's the typical Karen entitled way of looking at the world, and it not only is harmful to them, but it's harmful to everyone else trying to coexist around them. This next tweet says, "Fourth woman to leave in a row. Yeah, I'm not watching this sexist show anymore." And I really only added this one for one reason, because it kind of just harps on the same horrible points made by the past few tweets. And the reason I picked it is because I remember when we, and by we I mean all the normal people who have common sense, used to say, "Hey, 41 is trash. Like, I'm this close to not watching, or I'm not going to watch anymore." And these people would tell us, like, if you don't want to watch, just leave. Stop talking about it. And it's like, I am so happy to finally be able to say, leave. Stop watching the show. If it's so sexist to you, leave. Never come back. Please and thank you. This next one says, "For women voting out during Women's History Month, I'm gonna be sick," and has a throw up emoji at the end. This guy definitely has a wife with a boyfriend for sure. I guess my first comment is like, so are women not allowed to be voted out during this month? Also, the show was filmed last summer, my guy. So they were not voted out during Women's History Month. You're just seeing it during, this month. So I'm confused as to where you get that logic where, women who have their episode aired in March aren't allowed to be voted out. Is that something that you would really do if you were in charge of Survivor? I'm confused as to what you expect the show to do, to air the show later so that the horrible crime of a woman going home during March happens. I mean, it makes zero sense. And again, I feel like that is kind of the common trait between all of these, is that none of these make any logical sense. If you just think for 1 second, I guarantee you any person who has common sense sees these tweets and says, "What are you talking about?" And if you don't, give me your argument down below in the comments. Of course, there's many more tweets which I'll put on the screen at this current moment, but I'm gonna cut it off here. If you guys want a part 2, like the video. And if that's, I'll talk to you guys in the next one.